My name is Dr. Lavinia Rodriguez. I'm a clinical psychologist and a specialist in the psychology of eating. And I'm the author of the book Mind Over Fat Matters: Conquering Psychological Barriers to Weight Management. The whole area of weight management is very complex. It's a lot more complex than we're led to believe with just diet and exercise. But an area that's often not talked about is the psychological side. And really there's psychology in just about anything, right? Especially when you're trying to follow through with your intentions. It doesn't have to be just with weight management. It can be with anything. And we all know how difficult it is oftentimes to follow through with your intentions. We all have at least one issue that we seem to always be working on, right? I was really concerned not just about the direction that society was headed, but also the fact that the dieting industry tends to give you, let's say, a diet. Or there's a different fad diet that comes out at least once a year. So there's all kinds of things out there that the dieting industry puts out to supposedly help you with your weight management goals. But what they tend to do is give you what to do. Okay, here's this diet. We want you to do this. But they don't give you a lot of help on how to do it. How am I supposed to follow this for the rest of my life and be successful? How am I supposed to be successful long term? So what I focus on is the how rather than the what. Most people know what the what is, although there are some misconceptions about that too. One of the issues that I have is that most of the information out there is about what to do. Here's a diet, follow it, and this is what you need to do. But there's very little help in the how. How do I take this information and be able to incorporate it into my life, but not only incorporate it into my life, but be able to follow this for the rest of my life where I can really manage this instead of having the typical yo-yo type of thing that people have. That's the most defeating and frustrating thing for people. So the how is really important to me rather than what to do. Also, I think that we have the wrong definition of success when it comes to weight management. And what we tend to do is focus on how much weight was lost. So usually we weigh people or they weigh themselves, or in discussions when people are talking about the issue, it's how much weight did I lose? Or did you hear about my cousin got on the ultra delicious brownie diet and lost 50 pounds in 3 weeks. So people focus, what they think of success is how much weight did you lose. But in order to be successful with weight management, the definition needs to be changed to one of how are you able to manage your weight successfully throughout your life. And that's really one of the reasons why changing lifestyle is so important instead of focusing on just weight or losing weight. So let's pretend that you have a rule because you're on a particular diet. And let's go back to the brownies. Let's say that the new and improved no brownie diet just came out. And you heard that your coworker lost 50 pounds on the new and improved no brownie diet. So you're going to do this too. So the rule is with the no brownie diet, no brownies. So first we have a rule that says I must never eat brownies. And when we first set these rules, when we first set up our program like that, we're very motivated, aren't we? Our intentions are really, really strong. We're in a fighting mood. I'm really going to do it. I'm going to lose all this weight. Now, let's say it's your neighbor is having a party. And your neighbor makes the best brownies you've ever tasted. Invites you to the party. And first of all, you go, okay, I'm going to be really, really, really good. You knock on your neighbor's door. she opens the door, and she's standing there with a platter that's just come out of the oven of your favorite brownies. They're still warm, and you can smell them. That makes you anxious already. Oh, I can't eat. These are my favorites. I can't eat the brownies. I am on the new and improved no brownie diet. But you go in, and you say, no, I'm just not going to have them. I'm not going to have them. And so you're feeling psychologically deprived, which, remember, it's this face. And for a while, you say, if I distract myself, I'm just going to talk to people so that I don't eat the brownies. I'm just going to distract myself. And you try to do that the best you can, but the smell of the brownies and the sight, you just can't help continuing to look and see them. And after a while, your mind is, it's getting tougher and tougher, and starts to say something like, oh, I'll just have just one. I'll just have one, and then no more. So you go and you have that one brownie. And then it happens again, and then maybe you have 2, and maybe you've had 5 during the party, and then the party's over and your neighbor says, hey, there's a bunch of brownies left here, and I know they're your favorites. I want you to take them home. Okay? So you take them home, and by the way, it's not just people with binging disorders, and it's not just people with bulimia that binge. Some, maybe not as frequently, maybe it's not as intense, but a lot of people know what binging is. So what happens here is you were at the party, and you were tempted, right? You were tempted by the brownies, and that's what temptation looks like. Right? At least that's what we've been told since we were kids that temptation looks like. But what happened when you went against your intention, and what happened when you got home and you ate maybe 5 more brownies, that's what we would call loss of control. And that's what loss of control looks like. Typically what happens is you feel guilty, and guilt has a face too. But eventually what happens is we tend to set what I call another intention. It may take longer this time or another, but we set another intention. No. Oh, by the way, I just heard from my coworker that there is an ultra new and improved no brownie diet that just came out, and it even has a supplement that goes with it that you take that pill with the brownie, and it obliterates all the calories of the brownie. So that's what I'm going to do this time. So your intention is set, and again, you're very, very serious. You have really good intentions. Most people have really good intentions. People don't set out to fail. They have good intentions. All right, and then what happens? It just goes right back around. So the cycle is something that a lot of people are familiar with. And that's what psychological deprivation is about. It is one of the biggest psychological barriers to weight management. And if you think about it, and you think about all of the different programs out there, you want to ask yourself, is this program likely, because I have this human mind, likely to lead me down the road of psychological deprivation? Or does it give enough flexibility and positive things so that it will actually be motivating and help me to manage things long term? The mind is looking to see something being finished. So if we serve ourselves with the whole bag, you're fighting something that you're probably not going to be real successful with. You're going to want to keep eating and eating until it sees it's all gone. There are lots of little tricks, and a lot of the food labs, research food labs, have actually given us a lot of tips with this, right? Eating out of smaller plates and all that. It's really because of the psychology of it. Self-talk is really important, how you talk to yourself, if you beat yourself up. Portion sizes, but one that I like to talk about a lot is savoring. Now, with our fast-paced society, we've gotten away from eating the way that we're supposed to eat, which is to savor the food that we eat, to use all of our senses in order to be able to get those messages up to our mind that say, this was delicious, and I'm satisfied now, and we can stop. But what we're doing is we're shoveling food in as fast as we can. Maybe we even have good reasons for it because we have to get back to work really quickly. But the fact is that that's not the way we were built to eat. We need to savor food, and that slows us down and helps us to feel satiated faster. So there are a lot of techniques that use psychology and a lot of these other tips that can help people be more successful. Okay, these are some other areas, and a lot of times, I do workshops just on one of these, whether it's perfectionism or stress or compulsive eating, any of those things. So I wanted to give you just a really good overall view, and then to discuss psychological deprivation in particular, because I think by knowing that, you become a better consumer of the things that you're bombarded with, whether it's on TV or magazines or whatever. Now ask yourself, wait a minute, is this going to psychologically deprive me? Maybe there's a better way.